Before we dive into one of the most chilling missing person cases to ever happen on open waters, welcome to Crimebot Chronicles, your home for real, raw, and twisted true crime stories that haunt the soul. If you love unraveling dark mysteries, uncovering hidden truths, and walking through the minds of the missing and the damned, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and become part of a growing community that refuses to let these stories be forgotten. Now, let's talk about Amy Lynn Bradley and what really happened the night she vanished forever. It was supposed to be the vacation of a lifetime. A tropical getaway, blue waves lapping against the cruise ship, and not a care in the world. But for 23-year-old Amy Lynn Bradley, that dream trip turned into a haunting mystery that's left her family shattered and the world asking, what the hell really happened? March 1998. Amy and her family board the Royal Caribbean cruise ship, Rhapsody of the Seas, heading to the Caribbean. Amy had just graduated from college, a strong swimmer, athletic, smart, full of life. The kind of girl who lit up every room she walked into. Her parents, Ron and Iva, along with her younger brother Brad, were stoked for the trip. Sun, drinks, dancing, just good vibes all around. But it didn't take long for things to get strange. On March 23rd, their second night on the ship, Amy and Brad hit the dance club on board, hanging out with a live band named Blue Orchid. One of the band members, a guy named Yellow, seemed a little too friendly with Amy. Creepy even. Brad remembers Amy feeling uneasy about it, but they brushed it off. It's a cruise, right? People flirt, dance, drink. No biggie. At around 1 a.m., Amy and Brad returned to the cabin. At 5:30 a.m., Amy is last seen sitting on the balcony by her dad, who wakes up briefly and notices her out there. She looks calm, just watching the ocean. Then she's gone. Vanished. When her dad woke up again around 6 a.m., Amy wasn't there. Not in the cabin. Not on the balcony. Not anywhere. Panic hits like a freight train. Ron and Iva tear through the ship, begging staff to make an announcement to keep people from disembarking. But Royal Caribbean refuses. They delay that announcement until it's too late. By the time any real search begins, passengers have already scattered at the port in Curacao. Crucial hours are lost, hours that might have saved her. The official story? She either fell overboard or jumped. Bullshit. Amy was terrified of open water. She was a trained lifeguard. She knew how to swim. There were no signs she was depressed or suicidal. And the railing on the balcony was high, too high for her to just fall accidentally. Her shoes, cigarettes, and lighter were still in the cabin. Who goes wandering barefoot off a cruise ship at dawn? Then things get darker. Way darker. Witnesses come forward. One says they saw Amy walking with Yellow, the band guy, around 5:45 a.m. near an elevator. Another woman says she saw Amy that morning, after she'd supposedly vanished, on a beach in Curacao, flanked by two men. She said Amy looked scared, like she wanted to say something but couldn't. More sightings trickle in over the years. One naval officer swears he saw Amy in a brothel in 1999. She told him her name and begged for help, but he was too afraid to report it right away. When he finally did, the trail had gone cold. Another woman swears she saw Amy in Barbados, accompanied by a heavily tattooed man who never let her out of his sight. Amy's case starts to feel less like a disappearance and more like a trafficking operation gone under the radar. The theory? Amy was kidnapped and sold into sexual slavery. It's a chilling thought, but the pieces start to line up. Amy was beautiful, athletic, and very American-looking. Perfect target. She caught unwanted attention on the ship. Maybe she was drugged, maybe lured out by someone she trusted. Yellow? A crew member? Someone she danced with? Either way, it doesn't take much for someone to disappear in international waters. No surveillance cameras. No jurisdiction. No accountability. Her parents never gave up. Ron and Iva poured every penny they had into finding her. They traveled to the Caribbean over and over, put out rewards, worked with the FBI, hired private investigators. They even got scammed by a con artist named Frank Jones who pretended he had proof Amy was alive. The guy strung them along for months, even had them believing he could arrange a rescue mission. Turned out he was full of crap. He just wanted their money. Can you imagine the betrayal? These grieving parents were played like pawns in the cruelest game imaginable. Despite everything, Amy's parents still held on to hope. Every sighting, every anonymous tip, each one felt like a lifeline. But the longer the case dragged on, the darker it all became. Royal Caribbean? They were no help. In fact, they seemed more worried about their image than helping find Amy. The crew cleaned Amy's room before investigators could properly search it. People who claimed to see or talk to her weren't properly interviewed. It was like they were trying to sweep the whole thing under the rug. Over the years, disturbing clues popped up. An email from someone who claimed to have seen a woman with green eyes and a Tasmanian devil tattoo, the same tattoo Amy had. Photos surfaced of a woman in online sex trafficking ads that bore a strong resemblance to her. Some experts believed it was her. Others weren't so sure. But Amy's family? They were convinced. Still, no solid answers. No body. No closure. It's been over 2 decades. But her family still fights, still pleads with the world not to forget. Amy Lynn Bradley didn't just vanish. She didn't fall off a ship. She didn't run away. Someone took her. Someone knew what they were doing. And someone somewhere still knows the truth. The fear Amy must have felt, waking up in a strange place, surrounded by strangers. The confusion, the desperation, the betrayal, being sold like property. And the rage. The sheer rage at a system that failed her from the jump. The cruise line. The investigators. The people who let it slide. Amy wasn't some careless party girl. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend. She was real. And she mattered. Her story is a brutal reminder that evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it smiles, plays in a band, and dances with you under neon lights. Even now, people report new sightings. Fresh leads. A woman in a toilet stall in the Caribbean whispers, "I'm Amy Bradley," to a tourist, then vanishes. Another sighting at a department store, a hotel, a casino. But every time the authorities arrive, she's already gone. There's no peace for the Bradley family. Just aching questions and sleepless nights. Was she kept on an island? Drugged, hidden, forced to forget who she was? Is she still alive? Or did she lose the fight years ago, buried under an alias in some unmarked grave? The internet blew up with theories. Reddit threads, YouTube videos, podcasts. True crime addicts tried piecing it all together. But the truth remains tangled in secrecy and silence. And when it comes to human trafficking, silence is the enemy. You hear cases like Amy's and think, nah, that can't happen. Not in real life. But it does. It happens every day. And the scariest part? Most people don't even notice. The case of Amy Lynn Bradley is one of the most chilling, unsolved mysteries of the modern era. Because it wasn't just a disappearance, it was a complete erasure. As if someone hit delete and hoped no one would question why. But we do. We still ask, what really happened on that cruise ship? Who saw what that morning? And why is no one being held accountable? If Amy's out there, trapped in a world she never asked to be part of, she deserves to come home. And if she's gone, her family deserves the truth. This isn't just a story. It's a scream in the dark. A haunting echo of a life stolen in paradise. A reminder to look closer, ask harder, and never stop fighting for the ones who go missing without a trace. Because Amy Lynn Bradley didn't just disappear. She was taken. And the world damn well better start caring.